This is Jonathan Cahn. Welcome to my YouTube channel. When you look at what's happening in the world, it's easy to wonder what's going on, and are things out of control? Is this what the Bible foretold? Is the end near? What do I need to know about the future? Where's it all going? How can I be prepared? What is God's prophetic word for the hour and for me? On this channel, you're going to find prophetic updates, the mysteries of God, daily words for life, biblical revelation, prophetic teachings, and much more. I pray it's going to be a great blessing to you in the days ahead. So be sure to hit the subscribe button and tap the bell icon so you're notified every time there's a new video that's posted. Leave a comment as to how God is blessing you. And don't forget to share these videos with friends who need to hear them. Thanks again, and God bless you. Shalom.
There are days that change everything. Days appointed in the mystery of time. Days that are not ordinary. Days when the veil thins, when heaven speaks, when the road you've walked suddenly turns into the path of your destiny. June 18th, 2025 is such a day. For many it will pass like any other, unnoticed, unmarked, but for the ones who are awake, for the ones who are watching, for the ones who have been in the cave, in the wilderness, in the hidden places, this is the moment. You've wandered long enough. You've prayed hard enough. You've waited faithfully enough. The time has come. The day of destination has arrived. There are moments in the divine calendar when what has been held back is suddenly released, when that which was delayed is brought forth, and when the appointed season arrives, like the turning of a key in a locked gate. The scriptures reveal that heaven operates by set times. These are not random. They are kairos moments, windows in the fabric of time when eternity touches earth. The moment the angel spoke to Daniel, the clock began ticking. The moment the ark's door shut, judgment came. And in the fullness of time, the Messiah came. Not a second too early, not a moment too late. This is one of those moments. It has been prepared. It has been counted down from eternity. It has been watched over in the secret counsel of God. There are things that could not be released before now. Not because you weren't praying, not because you weren't faithful, but because the time had not yet come. You've cried out and heard only silence. You've asked and waited for a door to move, for a sign, for something to shift in the heavens. And now, the appointed time has come. There are things that only ripen in the appointed season. No matter how much you labor or fast or plead, fruit will not come before its time. But when the season turns, what once appeared dead begins to bud. What was barren begins to break forth. In the same way, this is the shift of seasons. What was hidden will be revealed. What was restrained will be released. What was locked will be opened. Heaven has an order, and in that order are mysteries beyond the understanding of men. But when the trumpet sounds in the courts of the Almighty, and the scribe of destiny is told to mark a date, then those who are watching will sense the change. They will feel it before they see it. They will rise before they understand why. Something in their spirit will declare, it is time. Time to rise, time to move. Time to step out from the shadows and take hold of what was promised. It is not enough to hear the call. You must respond. When the appointed time comes, it comes with both invitation and urgency. There is a door now opening, one that was shut before. It did not yield to your prayers in the past because it wasn't meant to. But now the hinges are moving. The lock is turning. And what was once impenetrable is now accessible. You were not being denied. You were being prepared. The door is not man-made. It was not crafted by earthly hands or powered by earthly favor. This door exists in the spiritual realm, but it leads to real things, real appointments, real assignments, real breakthroughs. And when it opens, it brings with it the movement of heaven on earth. This is a divine door, and you don't need man's permission to walk through it. What you need is discernment to see it and faith to step through it. There are moments when the wind of God blows, and you must raise your sail. You don't get to control the wind, but you must be ready when it moves. The Israelites had to follow the cloud, not lead it. And when the cloud lifted, they had to move, even if they were comfortable where they were. In the same way, the cloud is lifting now. The door is opening now. The moment you've waited for is unfolding in the natural because it has already been decreed in the spiritual. Do not hesitate because the past was painful. Do not shrink back because your last attempt failed. This is not that season. That was preparation, this is fulfillment. That was training, this is release. The door before you is not a door of convenience, it is a door of calling. It may not look the way you imagined. It may not be wrapped in ease or comfort, but it is your door, and it leads to your assignment. The enemy always sends confusion at the edge of destiny. He speaks delay when heaven speaks now. He brings distraction right before breakthrough. But he cannot stop what heaven has opened. He has no authority to close what the Lord has unsealed. The only thing he can do is convince you not to walk through. This is not a time to reason. It is a time to respond. You've prayed for this. You've longed for this. You've been stretched, broken, humbled, and refined for this. And now, the door stands open. Heaven has declared the time fulfilled, and earth is beginning to align with that decree. You looked at the clock, you marked the calendar, you waited for the breakthrough, and when it didn't come, the voice of the enemy whispered, you were forgotten. You saw others rise while you were held back, and you wondered, did I miss it? But what you called delay, heaven called design. What you thought was stagnation was actually sacred calibration. The very moments you considered wasted were the very moments he was using to prepare the vessel for the weight of the assignment. No prophecy given before its season can be fulfilled in strength. If Joseph had walked into Pharaoh's palace the day after his dream, he wouldn't have had the wisdom to interpret or the endurance to lead. He had to be tested, crushed, humbled, and shaped. The prison was not a punishment, it was a prophecy incubator. God does not rush destinies. He matures them. And the longer the delay, the deeper the roots. You've been asking why it hasn't come. You've been pleading for manifestation, but the potter was still shaping the clay. You've been on his wheel, not cast away, but drawn closer. Delay doesn't mean denial. The temple wasn't built in a day, nor was David's crown given without years of pursuit, betrayal, and wilderness. What you felt was resistance was actually refinement. Heaven was protecting you from premature promotion, because to step into destiny too soon is to collapse under the glory meant to rest upon you. The Father hides those he loves in caves of obscurity until they are ready. Elijah didn't hear God in the wind or the fire, but in the whisper that followed. And whispers come to those who've been still long enough to hear. You've seen doors shut, but what you didn't see was what would have happened had they opened too soon. You asked for the promise, but heaven was writing the structure to hold it. The longer the blueprint is drawn, the greater the structure must be. You've walked with questions, but God walks with intention. There's not a moment he wastes. Every silence, every detour, every delay was written with purpose. You didn't miss your moment. Your moment has been waiting for you to be ready for it. There's a reason you were born in this generation. You weren't meant for the days of the apostles. You weren't chosen for the times of the prophets of old. You were assigned to now. Your birth was not a product of chance or human planning. It was a sovereign act. Heaven looked at this hour and said, this is the moment where your voice must rise. Before you took your first breath, the battle you were born to fight was already raging. Before you spoke your first word, the story you were born to live was already unfolding. The world isn't shaking. Nations are trembling. Darkness is rising, but so is the light, and that light is inside you. You were not born for ease or comfort. You were born for battle. You were born for fire. You were born to shine when others hide. Like Esther, you were brought to the kingdom not just to survive, but to shift history. The times around you are not random, they are prophetic. And you are not simply an observer, you are a vessel of divine intervention. Every wound you've carried has a purpose. Every scar has a message. The rejection, the heartbreak, the trials, they were not the end, they were the training. Heaven does not commission the unbroken. It anoints those who have passed through the wilderness with eyes still lifted to the hills. You have been walking through fire because you were forged for something holy. You were preserved through what should have taken you out. Others fell beside you. Others gave up. But you kept walking. What you thought was the enemy trying to destroy you was God preparing to reveal you. And not to the world's stage, but to the battlefield of purpose. You've wondered why you couldn't fit into ordinary systems, why normal never worked for you. It's because you weren't called to live according to the pattern of men. You were fashioned by the hands of the Almighty for such a time as this. The scroll of your life has been waiting for this day. The trumpet is sounding over your assignment. The veil is thinning. The moment is now. The stage is not a place, it's a moment. And the moment is at hand. He saw you coming before you knew your own name. He knew the moment you were born, a mark was placed upon your life, not by man, but by God. That mark terrified him. It wasn't your talent, your knowledge, or your influence. It was your assignment. The enemy didn't attack you because of your weakness. He attacked you because of your potential. The battle wasn't over your past, it was over your future. He saw the scroll with your name sealed in heaven. He saw the calling that would shake darkness. He saw what would happen when you came into alignment with your true identity, and so he launched war before you even took your first step. He came with lies early. He planted rejection, confusion, and betrayal. He brought in storms to drown your voice before it ever rose. There were moments you questioned your sanity, questioned your salvation, questioned your value. But even then, something within you would not let go. The darkness raged around you, but it couldn't extinguish the flame that refused to die. You carried a word you couldn't fully explain, a hunger that couldn't be satisfied by the world's offerings. You were being pursued by darkness because you were destined to carry light. He tried to trap you in cycles, cycles of failure, cycles of fear, cycles of delay. He used people you trusted, places you called safe, even dreams you thought were from God, all to wear you down, all to convince you to lay it down before it was fulfilled. He came to delay divine appointments, to discredit your voice before it could rise. But what he underestimated was the resilience born from the Spirit of God in you. What he didn't count on was the grace that covered you even when you stumbled. You forgot the power of mercy, the restoration of repentance, and the fire of a heart that refuses to quit. You weren't defeated. You were refined. You weren't disqualified. You were qualified. Through the very battles he tried to use to break you, the scars he tried to use to silence you became testimonies of glory. The places of failure became altars of surrender. The very chains he used to bind you became the weapons in your hand. You emerged with fire in your bones, with a sword in your mouth, and authority in your spirit. You passed through the furnace, and now the gold of your calling is ready to be revealed. This is not just about survival anymore. This is about conquest. The time of testing is giving way to the time of stepping in. You've seen the wilderness. You've walked through the valley, but now the Jordan lies before you, and the land of promise is in sight, not because you earned it, not because you forced it, but because the time has come. Heaven has already given the decree, and the walls are beginning to tremble. What he spoke in secret is about to be revealed in the open. The land is not just a place. It's your purpose. It's your influence, your assignment, your inheritance. You've watched others walk into theirs, and now the voice that called them is calling you. But the land is not empty. Giants still dwell there. There will be battles, but they are battles you've already been prepared for. What terrified you years ago now bows under your feet. What once silenced you now runs at the sound of your voice. You are not entering as a slave. You are entering as a son, as a daughter, as an heir of what heaven promised. You can't stay on the edge anymore. You can't circle the mountain again. You can't keep rehearsing the pain of Egypt when Canaan is calling your name. The manna is drying up because the land is ready to feed you. The old way is ending because the new way has come. You've cried long enough. You've waited long enough. You've prepared long enough. Now you must move. Not with fear, not with hesitation, but with the authority of someone who knows they were sent. This is the moment to draw your sword and take possession, to declare the promises over your life and walk as if every word is true. To rise before the sun and put your foot where it's never been, knowing the ground has already been given. To tear down every stronghold with praise. To silence every lie with truth. To take every step knowing angels are going before you. The sound of marching is in the trees, and heaven's army moves with those who dare to step out. So now the moment stands before you. The clock of heaven has struck. The wind of the Spirit is moving. The gates have been opened. The seal has been broken, and the call has gone forth. You have come through the fire, the storm, the delay, the silence, not for nothing, not by accident, but to arrive at this precise juncture in time. June 18, 2025 is not just a day in the calendar. It is a day inscribed in the book of destiny. And the page that turns now is yours. The time for watching has ended. The time for weeping has passed. The time for retreat is over. It is the hour to rise, the hour to step forward, the hour to possess what was spoken over you when no one else was listening. To take hold of the promise written in the wilderness, forged in the dark, and now revealed in the light. This is your Jordan moment, your Red Sea parting, your upper room awakening. Do not look back, do not fear, do not hesitate. What you see before you is not the end, it is the beginning of the fulfillment. Walk through the door. Declare His word. Possess your inheritance. For the voice of the Lord is saying, you were made for this. You were chosen for this. You were born for this. June 18, 2025 is the day of destination. Now, walk into it.